Hi everyone, we're playing The Last of Us on Survivor difficulty mode, the highest difficulty that the game affords the player to compete on with himself, or herself, my bad. So this is the is it the sixth chapter, or I think it's chapter... I'm sorry you guys, I can't remember what it is. It'll be apparent in the video, so slide the trash bin over here. And something Ellie says over here about just wanting to say thank you, and another of her lines somewhere down later in the chapter is something I wanted to remark upon, because even though Bill and Tess were highly disinclined to take her traveling, to actually smuggle her across country, Ellie is she's very cooperative. In fact, here it is. Listen to this.
I know you guys are getting paid for this, but I'm trying to say this. Yeah, sure thing.
And it's an interesting contrast between the stubbornness of the adults and the reality of how mature Ellie is and how cooperative she is. I mean, she has her moments where she's, because when anybody would. I mean, you're hanging out with Joel, and he's just very stoic of a character. Anyway, I cut that scene out where Marlene does her last stand down there, and she was bitten and was infected, so she decided to have everyone else go ahead and just do her last stand down there. And that's not a spoiler because it already happened in the past, and if there's anything I do, it's just retroactive spoilers, so don't worry about that. Make sure you grab the pills over there. And now we're going to be doing some battles in the Capitol building. So here's our first rifle that we get from this course right here. We're going to take it from him. And then we have, I believe, 3 stealth sections to do. And, I mean, if you don't want to do it stealth, you don't have to. It's kind of the player's choice what he wants to do. But basically, I always try to do stealth, and then I don't know, if I get impatient, then I'll start fist fighting or whatnot. But I don't fist fight if there's a ton of enemies. So I'm in this area now. This guy always comes over here, so I anticipated where he arrives. Watch out for the podium here. I think Ellie knocks it over. Was this the take? Yeah, Ellie knocks it over. Watch out for that thing, because if you hit that, the enemies can hear it. So now I'm gonna. What usually happens when you come over to this area is you'll have a guy with a helmet coming through the door over there where the wallpaper is green. Well, I guess there is no wallpaper. That guy right there. See, sometimes he'll come over to this area. Sometimes he'll come over to the middle room. But since he wasn't coming there, I had to throw a bottle at him, and this caused all the enemies to aggro. And when I say aggro, I just mean it's spelled A-G. RO, or it might have 2 G's in it, but it's a fancy way of saying that the enemies are alerted, whereas before they were just walking around, just whistling and not on any kind of status that meant that you have to start hiding and make them go back down a degree so they're not looking for you. I mean, they're somewhat... I mean, it's kind of a thin line. They're looking for something. I mean, they obviously know we're here, but they're not hunting us. I guess that's a better way of saying it. Make sure you grab those pills, though. And I think the enemies are still having... they're still on alert status, so I'm going to have to very carefully find out who's left. Basically, there's one guy who stands at the very end of this lower section of the building, and I don't believe that he moves until you kill all of his lackeys, and then he'll start moving, because he's in a really hard spot to get around that guy. So it's nice that he actually becomes he turns from stationary to actually active. So that aggressive move that I did right there, it's no different from the buttons I've been pressing before. I don't really know why he does the aggressive takedowns myself. So you see the guy that's approaching me right now? He was the guy who I believe stands at the very end of the hall. So all his friends are taken down, so now I'm going to have to fist fight this guy. And that There is a way to get out of that, you guys, and it does say to press the sprint button, the L2 button, but I don't know. I think it requires more timing, more precision timing than I've done, or maybe you have to press the left analog stick away from where the enemy is at, and then press the sprint button. But please let me know if you happen to know about that, because another charm of doing these videos and posting them is that it facilitates discussions and gets people answers, and that's cool because I don't have all the answers. I know what I know about the game, and it's really fascinating because I learn a lot from other people who comment. It's really nice. So there's the second stealth section. Here's the final one. It's the biggest one. And basically, we have several enemies here. And what I like to do is, it's safe to run. You don't have to crouch walk like that. Vault over this table and then crouch right here. You're going to have enemies coming through these 3 doorways over here. But the one I'm focused on is that guy right there. So, see that other enemy to the right? He's not seeing me, so he's all fine. This enemy that I'm sneaking up on right now, he doesn't always go this way. Sometimes he'll go the other way around the table. So just do a silent takedown on that guy. And then what I like to do next is to go into the room straight ahead. Because normally, when I say normally, I just mean like 90% of the time, I never have to worry about any enemies sneaking up on me from behind. What happens normally is I'll have 2 enemies come down this hallway and I just stealth kill them. Kind of a peculiar thing to note though about this is that I'm going to have an enemy coming down the walk to my left, and traditionally what you have to do to do stealth takedowns is you have to be behind the enemy, but from this, you see this, I'm going to be taking this guy down, and even though he's unaware of what I'm doing, that's atypical. He normally doesn't double back like that. But sometimes you could still do a silent takedown even though you're at the same level as the enemy. If like, okay, yeah, this was not desirable here. I mean, you could take enemies out from the sides, provided that they haven't gotten into alert status. So maybe this guy didn't get alerted, but he sure will be on guard when he sees the body over there. But let me see if he gets, that generates a response. He sent out a call, and this guy might have shot me right here. No, he missed. That was fortunate. He did a couple of really bad shots. He grabbed me though, so I'm going to have to take this guy down. I think this is the last guy in this vicinity. In this vicinity, though, the thing about this whole situation is that there is no checkpoint, and you have to go past or kill the 2 enemies in the far distance. Now, there's a healing item over here. Just pick that up. It'll give you a little bit of your health back. These 2 enemies down here, I thought last time when I did this guy, and I actually suggested that people at least try it out, and I do it over here, you'll see what happens, is to just make a dash for it. But the thing is, these guys will chase you outside the building and all the way to the subway tunnel entrance. So what I did here was, because there's only 2 guys, so I figured if I could just take one guy out, I can get a headshot. And that right there, that's a headshot, because it's a circle with all the lines around it. That means it's a headshot kill. Now there's just one guy, and I'm just going to take my chances. And oh, there might have been 2 guys. But I think the problem was I didn't take out as many guys as I normally do here. Or maybe there is 3 guys and I was getting 2 a lot of the other times. I'm not particularly sure. But see the door right there? It's so close. And you can make it. The enemies have a hard time coming into this room too. I mean, if you want to try to bait them in here, they will come in here, but there's so much other areas for them to go outside. So another bad shot right there lined up into my favor. So now I'm just going to do a dash for it. And I know that I'm going to have to get into cover here because these guys will come out into broad daylight and try to gun you down. So what I'm going to do is try to find some cover. Shoot. I missed. I didn't. No, I didn't. That was a very careful move. You could actually just vault, just sprint over to the subway tunnel. But trust me, if they start shooting you and they hit you and you flinch, that was another nice headshot. So here we go. I made a run for it, and I had 1 guy left. But this is not a game where you need to kill all the enemies. Not only because it's a stealth game and that's how it works, but because there's not much incentive to killing enemies on this mode, because you're not going to get many drops. The drops are so infrequent, it's crazy. Okay, so the only enemies left in this chapter are 2 enemies in the area where the spores are emanating from. So he's going to put his gas mask on over here. And this is a pretty damn easy fight because all it is just 2 guys. But what I don't like is the environment, the spores causing the environment to be just horrible. It's like a really like sepia toned fog, and I hate it. Another thing I don't like down the road is the hunt level. I don't mind. Well, I'm not going to say exactly what you do there, but your visibility is obscured by snowfall, a snowstorm. So, yeah, just 2 guys. Just be fortunate that there is only 2 foes to take down. So this guy here, see, I'm going to take him out from the side, hopefully, but I don't think this worked out. Oh yeah, it worked out. But he did an aggressive takedown, and I did some melee punches, thinking that guy would get up, and now it's just me and this guy here. So I'm always tempted to just charge at these guys and just start swinging. See, I wasted a bullet there. Oh, also, switching shoulders is performed by when you're aiming. Just press the R2 button, and you could have your the gun aim over the other shoulder. So here we go. I'm going to do this, take cover, then go behind that that pole right there, and take him out. Nice to see a dead bitch right there. And I'm just going to backtrack over here because I wasn't particularly sure if there might have been a pendant or something. But I don't care about pendants. I care about scrap metal and pills. So that's it. There's no more enemies, but there is one little minor puzzle because, as was spoken earlier in the subtitles, I like to keep the subtitles on when I play these games because it jogs my memory sometimes what the characters are saying, and also, since I have to lower the decibel level so much on the audio footage associated with the gameplay. It's just a nice thing to have for people who are interested in what's going on. Okay, so Ellie can't swim. She just, I don't know, I guess she never practiced, or what have you. So we're going to descend here. It's telling us that the circle button is dive and the X button is surface. It's clear enough to see down here, but I just don't like the whole swimming mechanic. And you also might notice a blue bar over my health. That's the health. That's the oxygen meter, which I really don't care for too much. I mean, yes, it is realistic, but okay. So there's a note up here, and Ellie's just kind of flanking us on the rail here. We need to help her out. This is an optional area over here. So grab the note if you want to, and there are some scrap metal pieces and some pills over here. So don't miss out on these by any means. So just press O to descend, and then what you want to do is press the X button to rise up here. And I like to get the pills before I get these scrap metal pieces. There is also a pendant to the left, but I do not care about that, and I don't want to get into a situation where I start losing my own health because the oxygen meter has ran out. I think the camera is a little stiff in these swimming sections when you're underneath the water. I think it should be a little bit more flexible. I mean, the camera works so perfectly other times. I don't know. It's just me.
Anything down there?
So anyway, we're going to have to... right there where he said it's a dead end, he wasn't lying to her. It was a dead end. So that's what I thought when I was playing this game. So there's a makeshift raft. So all you need to do is drag this over to where Ellie is. It'll snap into place. And listen to what she says right here. He says, "Get on." see, a relationship is evolving. He says, "Do I have to?" He says, "Ellie," and she said, "Okay." It's that thing I was getting back to earlier when I started this chapter of how, she's not a little bitch brat of a girl. She's a very she's going to turn more self-reliant as the chapters progress, but she's basically thankful that these people are helping her out, and she's cooperative. And we're going to have a bond forged between these two characters, and obviously you can see the comparisons between her and his daughter, who was shot so violently by that soldier in the prologue. But that's the end of the chapter. All we need to do here is sprint up the stairs, and in short time we'll be in Billstown in the woods.